What's up, guys? This is James with Escaping the Neon. I'm out here. It's Monday afternoon, doing the trash run. I got about 8 days left at this neon gig that I got here. So I finally put my 2 weeks in. I'm going to be a full-time entrepreneur. Super excited about it. Just trying to get through these last couple days here. Got a lot of great things going on. We got our first order come in on the Popcorn website, and that's actually shipping all the way to California. So it's like super exciting to get some business that's actually outside of my state. Got a couple other cool things going on. I'm getting, I think I talked about this before, the kids book that I wrote. I'm getting that edited right now, and I'm trying to get that up on Amazon Direct Publishing. Definitely a couple other things going on too. I spoke with a place that's down the road from me. It's got really good traffic visibility, and this place has been for sale for like seriously 6 years easy. It's just been sitting there. I drove past it. I also bought a nice trailer, so that's really exciting. But I drove past it the other day, and I was like, damn, that would be a great place to set up and sell kettle corn. So I talked to the guy, I called the number on there, and believe it or not, he had just got an offer. So the owner said that he owned it for 60 more days, and I could rent it from him, until he ends up selling the place, and then try and talk to them about potentially staying there. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, because I'd still have to figure out permitting, which would probably take me all of 45 days. But we'll see. I'm going to call the health department in my county, see what I got to do to set up out there. But a lot of good stuff coming down the pike. But when I'm doing the math, this shit is going to be expensive to do what I'm trying to do. Even at the farmer's market, I got to rent a bigger booth. I got to pay health department fees. I got a few other things I got to pay for, so I'm not worried. I mean, I know I got money coming in, but of course it's just stressful in general. And I think it's going to be like that. Definitely going to get worse before it gets better. I know that for sure. But we got some really cool stuff going on, like just in the last week or so. Random people have hit me up, asking me to do events. Which is kind of crazy because, I didn't have the capability to even do events 2 weeks ago. But now I got the trailer. I got a mobile sink coming. So the trailer I paid $6,000 for. The sink I paid $1,300 for. And there's going to be way more going into licensing and blah, blah, blah. But the beautiful thing about this is I started with a $700 kettle setup, and I've continued to make money, and as I make that money, basically I continue to spend it to keep growing the business, so I have something that's going to be able to get me a good bit of income, and I'm basically where I want to be as far as setup goes. I know there's going to be some odds and ends. I'm probably in for at least another $500 by the time all's said and done, but I do think I have a really nice setup going. I'm really excited to see this sink. I'm super excited to just see how everything's going to play out. And again, the company I used to work for, the owner, he asked me to be his partner and help him run that business, which is already, it's an established business. It's been around for like 35 years. And he doesn't really have anybody to transition the business to. So I'm definitely flattered that he thought of me and asked if I'd be interested in the opportunity. So, I got to do more research. Oh yeah, I'm wearing gloves. Obviously, I'm doing a trash run. So luckily these are new gloves. I'm not just touching my head with dirty trash hands. But yeah, so great opportunity, I believe, but I got a lot to figure out on that front. And I'll be honest, like I said, as this kind of comes down to the wire here, like I got a good bit in my savings account. What's Poppin's bringing in a good bit of money, and we're doing good, but it still is a little nerve-wracking, having all this money going out, especially right now because, I don't have the security blanket anymore, at least not for much longer. So I should get one more check out of the parks, actually, and then I'll get paid out for all the annual leave that I saved up, I hope. So I got a little more money coming in from the parks, and then the rest is going to be up to me, side hustling. Well, I guess not side hustling anymore, careering. But, just growing my own thing and, taking all the side businesses that I've started and turning them into my career income, which, again, super pumped about. I really, really think this is going to go really well. I can't believe I got that online order. That's like so motivating. It's like, holy shit, just super amped about that. But yeah, at the same time, of course, it is definitely scary as hell. But the point of this is to show you that this shit is possible. So I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you that this is absolutely possible to grow your own thing and be successful as your own boss. Couple more things I'll say real quick. Another thing that I'm getting on top of is a bookkeeper. And my taxes. That's, I don't think I should really have to pay much taxes because of how much I've reinvested back into the business. But again, without actually doing the taxes, I don't know. So, and I'm just in way over my head as far as taxes goes. If you're going to start multiple businesses like I did, I mean, there's, unless you're going to do a ton of research and learning about doing your own taxes, and again, it's funny because, there's already some tax things that, the tax person I was working with previously didn't even have any idea about. So it's been one of those things where do your own research, figure out if there is, a loophole, if you will, that you want to use or that you know of that's going to be beneficial to you. They might not know about it. So do your own research and figure out, what it is that you're trying to do. And then at least, come to a tax person with, a very basic knowledge and understanding, maybe of what direction you want to go, and it could be helpful for you. But anyway, so we're doing that. We're getting a bookkeeper. We got our editor working on the kids' book and some website copy. The coffee drop shipping thing. The website's slow goings. That I would somewhat say was maybe slightly a mistake. Using the website guy that I used. He's done a really good job. He's been really good, honestly, really, really responsive, and I think he's worked hard and very quickly. So it's not necessarily anything with the service that this guy's provided, but there's two things really that have been an issue. Number one, I used Upwork, which has caused me a problem because even though I selected, USA only because I didn't really want to deal with the language barrier, this guy totally bullshitted. He's 100% in Pakistan, which is fine, because he can communicate relatively conversationally, but there's nuances in conversations that, somebody who's fluent would understand, and it's just something that, I don't think we think of necessarily, that they wouldn't understand. So there's been some language barriers, some things that I've clearly said a few times and they haven't got done, and I think it's more again because of the language thing, not because this guy's doing a shoddy job or slow work or anything like that. So having it to do again with the website for the coffee company, I would have definitely double checked to make sure that the dude was in the US despite what it says on Upwork. And then the other side of that is he's custom designed a website. So yeah, it's cool that, okay, so we're not using a template on, Squarespace, or I believe actually this website's Shopify. So yeah, it's great we're not using a Shopify template. But the thing that sucks now is now he's got this custom coded website, which is a giant challenge for me to edit things. So he keeps asking, well, what edits do you want to do? How do you want to change the copy, so on and so forth. Well, really, it just needs to be me writing the copy and writing the edits because, you know, he does, again, there's a language barrier. He's really not able to write anything. I wouldn't expect him to, right? But I need to be able to go in and make edits on my website because, you know, I'm not hiring the guy to be on staff, which kind of may be what he's trying to kind of set himself up for, because, you know, I'm sure this happens to a lot of people whose websites he does, because, you know, you got to go in there and deal with coding. You know, it's simple coding, right? It's like, you know, just changing a numerical value or something in some cases, but, you know, it's relatively easy to figure out, but still, it's just something I'm not super familiar with, and it's just a much bigger challenge than if you're using like a Squarespace template that you can literally just plug and play your information. You don't have to dick around with the coding. So those are the two problems I'm coming into there, and I'm sure there'll be more. But hey, we're rocking out. We got pre-orders. There was a whole problem with and that was another thing. You know, the same guys doing my website made the labels. There was a problem with the actual coffee roaster as far as him printing the labels that I provided, even though he approved the labels. Problem with the labels, you know, they weren't printing. They were printing a little bit off center, so he was getting 2 good labels for every 6 that he printed. So then there was a huge back and forth with the guy that made the labels, because again, there was that language barrier. I told him to do the same thing 3 times, and finally on the 3rd time, you know, he did get it right. But you know, there's only so much you can do when you say, you know, do you get it? Are we clear? Does this make sense? You know, and then there's really only so much you can do until you see the finished product and see, okay, well, obviously it was not clear. But anyway, so doesn't matter. I'm rambling, but super excited for the things to come. Can't wait to keep you guys posted on what's going on. And we certainly got a lot of it. Again, I got another really fun project that I'm working on that should be live, you know, a couple weeks. So I'll keep you all up to date on that, but I'm going to keep that one in my back pocket because that one's pretty funny, but also exciting. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. This is James. I hope you guys have an excellent day, and I'll talk to you soon.